Hey, what's going on, everybody? So apparently, people watch my videos. It's funny, I have the guys I'm going to ride with tonight. One's my son and his friend. They're telling me, we watch your videos here at work. I'm like, oh, great. But no, it's fun. I know people watch the videos, but it's a little more interesting when you know people that watch them, because you're like, it's just that what you come across like, you know what I mean, as far as, it's just weird, hard to explain. But anyway, I'm going to be, this may or may not be my last ride of the season. Maybe not, now that I'm actually dressed for it. Today's about, 65, I think, right now in this video. And I'm going to be meeting some folks to ride with here. One's my son and his friend at this shop. And we're all going to ride, just take a little ride, probably less than an hour around town and a little bit out more in the country. But it gets dark so soon, so this will be interesting. And I was really worried about the weather as far as being chilly, so I got like 4 layers on, and that really helped. By the end of the ride, I was perfectly fine. Actually, was kind of warm, and I got home and had to like strip off because I was like burning up. So but it was more mild. Like I said, I think the temperature maybe got to like 60. So it wasn't, no, that's not cold at all. But yeah, when it gets down to like 30 degrees outside, I'm probably not going to be doing a lot of riding. Who knows? But so I'm going to be riding here and going over and meeting the guys. We're going to take a little ride as a group and just go around town here a little bit. Like I said, maybe stretch out a little bit around some of the back roads, country roads that are fairly close to our area. I have to look in the mirror a lot to make sure my GoPro camera is actually on and functioning. Not that I've ever had a problem, but just one of those habit things you gotta. And this guy in front of me was having some weird issues. It's like finally had to pull over. He was doing a million things in his car, or van, I should say. But it's a nice night. It's probably one of the last nicer days that are going to be available to ride here in this southern Ohio area. So I'm looking forward to it. This is a little bit longer video, so apologize for that. Feel free to fast forward through anything, but since it's probably going to be the last ride, possibly the last video I do of the year, I'll probably make it a little bit longer and then start back up in the spring. I don't know. I might make more videos, but it's going to be hard to know. I still have to change the oil in this thing and get it winterized. I don't know if I really need to record that because it's pretty simple change, but I might do an oil change video for the hell of it, just for fun, but still to be determined. But anyway, gonna meet them here shortly, so we'll get some music on here and be right back at you. So yeah, it's either traffic or cars going, you know, 25 miles an hour down a 40-mile-per-hour road all day long around here. So yeah, I'm just enjoying the ride. Like I said, this is what it's all about, you know, having a motorcycle or a motorbike or whatever's on two wheels, whatever you want to label it, right? This is what it's about, you know, just getting out, stress relief, getting out there and riding. Again, not a big super fan of cold weather, but this night was pretty mild still. So you can see the perfect weather, sun. I got some video coming up shortly where the sky is actually really dramatic, so that's going to be cool. But yeah, so I'm going to miss these opportunities. That's why I wanted to get out and ride one more time. And I do plan on investing in some cold weather gear because I do enjoy it. The only thing is, you know, you can keep your torso kind of warm, but when it gets really cold, then you have to, you know, get a little creative as far as the hand warmers and stuff in your boots or your shoes, because your limbs are the thing that gets cold, your hands and your feet, things of that nature. So I'm going to have to work around that, but we'll see. Or I might just hang it up. There's going to be a point where it's going to get just pointless to ride here, living in Ohio, southern Ohio. The winters are pretty harsh. I mean, not as far as a lot of snow, but man, do they get cold. I think they'll get into the negative numbers sometimes during the winter. And I think I recorded like -14 a couple years ago on my vehicle. My car had this radio in it at one time when I had a company vehicle, and it had the temperature. I think most of them do nowadays, but yep, -14 was one day. I think it was in February, if I'm not mistaken. That was just a couple years ago. So when I say it gets cold, it gets cold. We're in that southern valley, and I don't know, it's just the summers are hot and humid, and the winters are just bitey and cold. It's just bizarre. We get all four seasons here. It's pretty cool though. You know, you get the extremes. You get the extreme heat, you get the extreme cold, and everything in between. But the spring and the fall, you don't get a lot of opportunity. I mean, just a few, like a month maybe. You might have a month and a half of spring weather, and then it just gets flat out hot. You know, you don't have that, 72 degree and perfect weather for a couple months. It goes from 40 degrees to 85 degrees like almost in a month. It's very weird. So anyway, not complaining, but you have to be, you have to have strategy when you have a motorbike around this part of the country. And it'd be kind of cool, like Arizona. I know some people that I think even in Denver, Colorado, who's chimed in on my videos before, where I think it was actually Arizona, where you can enjoy the riding season mostly all year long, and that'd be so cool. I'd actually love to ride a motorbike out in Arizona for a while. That'd be really neat experience, But what can you do? Gotta be in Ohio. What can I say? But this area actually, I rode down here. I passed where I needed to go. I wasn't paying attention, kind of. I mean, I was and I wasn't. I'm just trying to kill time more than anything. So I'm a little early. I'm always that person who's a half hour early no matter where I go. So I'm going to head to the shop here real quick, and then we'll basically all hop on our bikes. I'm waiting for another person, and of course, like I said, I'll be the first one there every single time. You can bet your money on it. That's just me. That's how I am as a person. Always considered about, I don't want to keep anybody waiting. So, I'll be sitting in a parking lot 30 minutes before I have to be there, like, all the time. I've done that all my life. My wife gets mad. Why? We're the only ones that's going to be there. I'm like, well, that's just me. Sorry. Better be early than late, as I say. So this is the shop here where I'm going to be meeting the guys, and we're going to take a little ride, stretch our legs out a little bit away from the crazies, I call them, and the cagers. Yeah, one of these days I'll get like the Bluetooth adapter where I could talk like in the helmet.
Yeah.
So that's what most people do, but I do it separate, as you know. But we'll see. Maybe. All cost
You're saying
money.
it'd be cool if, or maybe it'd be boring if we all could communicate through our helmets.
Yeah, I don't know.
Relay audio thing in the video, but
Yeah, that might be a little. Some of those guys do that. Couldn't find my phone.
your phone?
It's in my pocket.
Oh.
So how long have I had this motorbike? I would say a couple months now, maybe 3 months. And yeah, sadly, I don't even have 500 miles on it yet. So as you can tell, I don't ride as often as I would like. But now that, like I said, the weather's getting colder, it's probably going to be less and less until the spring. But I'm going to go ahead and probably do the oil change here on a weekend, Saturday or Sunday, probably a Saturday, in my garage. Got a little space heater that I can put out there, but I do have to ride the motorbike around for a little bit before I do that. You have to get the engine, the oil up to engine temperature before you want to change the oil. So I'll ride it around just the neighborhood for about 10 minutes or so, get the engine all warmed up, bring it back to the garage and just do the oil change, and then put some fuel stability in there in the tank. I think I do need to get gas though. As I record this video, I think I am just about a little bit less than a half a tank, I think. So get some gas, give it a fresh tank of gas, get some stability in it, and then we should be good to go. I just store it in my garage, which is an attached, typical suburban 2-story house. So the garage is, even though it's not insulated, you don't get the extreme bitter colds or anything, and I don't have to worry about covering it. So I have that luxury, which is nice. And then I just got to wait for spring to happen, right? But beyond that, it's been a great bike. Like I said, I've had it about 3 months, and I couldn't be any happier. It's just definitely the use that I bought it for was just to casually ride around the areas, and I've not really taken anything. I think this is probably one of the longest rides I've ever had on it at this filming right now. And it wasn't bad at all. I mean, this you can ride this thing all day long. The only thing that if I could make any improvement on, honestly, would be the seat. And it's not really, I shouldn't say the seat, I guess more the seating position. I kind of tend to slouch, I guess, when I, in life when I walk, or not a lot, but, but so when I ride the bike, you have to sit up straight, and I can feel my back getting a little stiff, kind of, so I have to kind of stretch and stuff. But a seat, that I'm eyeing up is, I think there's a vendor in Thailand that you can get a seat that has a backrest to it. Not an extreme backrest, but it'll go up about 5-6 inches, and you sit in this kind of little pocket area with the backrest. Anyway, that's the seat I want, and they custom make them for any color and stuff. Real easy to replace it. So I think if I do anything upgrade wise right now, it would be the seat. And then after the seat would probably maybe a taller shield on this thing to kind of block some of the wind, because that little shield in the front right there, it's nice. It's positioned to allow the wind to go over your body, but it still hits you pretty hard in the helmet, especially when I turn my head. If I'm going above 45 and I turn my head, wow, I can really feel the wind. So a seat and the shield probably will be my first 2 upgrades, I'm thinking. And, no rush on that, just eventually. I'm in no hurry. So as you can see, right about 66, 67, kind of, flipping back and forth. That's about the limiter on this thing. There's other people that I follow and I, talk to that, 67 is it. So there must be some type of rev limiter on the Honda. Now you can get around that if you desire to go any faster by upgrading, the rollers and some of the parts on this machine. But again, I didn't buy the machine, I didn't buy the bike to really go that fast or have any desire to go any faster, or I would have got a different motorbike, period. But yeah, I think they call it the rollers, some internal parts that you can, I guess, bypass the limiter on it. So I'm not sure how that works. It gets a little technical after that. But again, it's not a big concern. So this is a 55 mile per hour zone. Had not enough coffee yet, apparently. But it has no trouble. As you can see, it takes a little bit of time. Once you get past 50, maybe 55, you don't have the really quick acceleration from there. But it'll keep pulling. It'll keep pulling out. And, it has no trouble keeping up with normal driving people. Now, because this is 55, there are people on this road, of course, that go, 70, all day long. But tonight they seemed to be behaving themselves, and I didn't have any trouble. You can see there 60, 61, and this is just cruising speed. I don't have it wide open at all. When I did reach 67 before, I think I had to tuck a little bit, duck down a little bit because of the wind. And keep in mind, I have a big, giant, Alaskan coat on, and, so I think the wind just blocking, because the shield on this thing is directed, the windshield, as you can see, it's directed to keep the wind going above you. And it does a really nice job, believe it or not. But anytime I've got up to 67, I did have to crouch down a little bit and kind of duck under the wind because of that. But not much, and it'll cruise all day long at like 60, no problem at all. It just takes a little bit of time to climb up any further. So there you have it on that. I think this is the first time actually I had it to 67. I had it in some other videos up to 66 on another stretch of road, but this was, and you keep in mind, it's starting to break in a little bit more. This motorbike, as the engine breaks in, and you might be able to achieve. That's probably why I'm hitting 67 now versus maybe a month ago. But at the same event, you're not going to go any faster than that, really. There is a limiter on this. And so anyway, that's that. I wanted to just kind of chime in here and discuss about the miles per hour. But even going on 55 miles an hour zone, that we were keeping up with traffic at 67, as you can see. So, they fly up and down the road. That's why I don't really have any desire to go that fast. I usually don't even go on that road. It was I'm just following somebody, so that's the only reason I took it. Anyway, hope that helps, but yep, it'll get up there. yeah, when I saw that truck coming, I wasn't sure it was going to make it, but looks closer on video, but actually had plenty of room for that semi to get through there. Always interesting out there, I tell you. Got to be careful. Yeah, sorry, that was a pretty long video. I just wanted to, thanks for hanging in there and watching. I just wanted to, since this may be my last GoPro video of the year, besides maybe an oil change or something, I'd like to show you guys. It was a little long, but I don't know. When I used to watch videos when I was researching this motorbike and others, I really found it interesting to kind of live through other videos, you know, before I had mine. And I know some of you have made that comment, living vicariously through my web videos in anticipation of a motorbike one day. But that's cool. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. Again, I won't rattle on. I've pretty much exhausted driving all over the local city here. So just keep in mind, if you want to check out the Facebook page that we have, if you do have an ADV 150 or even a PCX 150, which is essentially the same machine, under the video I'll have links to the Facebook group, but it's for North America, and we kept it North America because, you know, just didn't want to deal with a big language barrier with people not able to speak English. And primarily, though, the North America concept was more geared to so others in the group the Facebook group can communicate on dealerships, different areas of riding, especially in the United States, price comparisons. So when you start opening the group up to like a whole global, it just keeps the communication is just that much harder. So that's why we kept it North America, by the way. Anyway, check out the Facebook group if you're interested, or even if you don't own one of these and you want to learn more about it. There is a wealth of information, very knowledgeable people in our Facebook group that can answer any questions about the ADV 150 or the PCX 150. So that's that. And again, not to sound redundant, but if you like this video, if you like my other videos, just make sure you subscribe and click on the little bell button and all that jazz. I appreciate that. Kind of as a good feedback when I hear others, leaving comments and asking questions. It kind of keeps me going forward because, video editing is not glamorous. It's very, very time consuming, but I enjoy it for a hobby. So if you do watch the videos, thanks for joining, and I'll go ahead and quit now. I know I've been rambling a lot today, but thanks again, and I should be back my next video when I do the oil change before the winter, okay? Take care. Some long johns and these sweatpants, but all right.
Jeff was telling me you can put some pegs on it to make it sit and feel more like a motorcycle.
Yeah.
If that's uncomfortable.
Oh, really? I'm getting used to it, but yeah, I could probably change that out if I wanted to at some point. Don't look bad, Nobody can really tell.
Bye.
See ya.